Hello and welcome back to Diary of My Frugal Life. Today I'm here to share another recipe video. I am really happy that you enjoyed my first recipe video with the cost of a frugal meal. And thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for my new subscribers as well. I am really happy. I'm trying to reach to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you like my content, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, help my channel to reach out to other people that might like my content. So yes, today I've got a different meal. It will be a more costly meal because I'm going to use some meat, because we are going to make a lasagna. However, I am going to show you how I make my lasagna from scratch and how I make it more affordable. So I hope you enjoy this video as well, and please let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more of those recipes and what kind of recipes would you like to see. Let's go and cook. I am going to make this recipe in my slow cooker. I always make my lasagna in the slow cooker because I feel the meat gets more tender. So that's why, but you can definitely do it on the stove. There is nothing wrong about it. You just need to watch and stir as you cook the meat sauce bit. First thing I'm gonna do is to peel this onion. At the end of the video I will put the cost of the ingredients except the seasoning and the quantities. I've got my onion and I've got half of garlic thingy. Not sure how you call this. Is it a bulb? Not sure. But yeah, it's half of it. Now you can always add more or less garlic to your taste. The same with seasonings. Some of the herbs I might use the dry herbs because I never use fresh ones. That's because it's more cost effective. But you can swap for the favorite of your taste. Again, I often add chili powder to my recipes, as you've noticed, because we like spicy food. If you don't, just, omit that from the recipe. It will be absolutely fine. Just going to wash the garlic and the onion. I'm going to use 200 grams of carrots. These ones weigh a little bit more than 200 grams because of the ice. These were frozen, but when I add to the cost, I'm just going to add the cost of 200 grams of fresh carrots. I use these ones because I usually get them free from Olio. Again, that is a way that makes my recipes more frugal. However, I know not everyone will be able to get those, so I will add the cost of it at the end of the video. I'm going to put my onion, garlic and carrot in my food processor. You can cut it with a knife if you prefer. I am also going to use half of a pepper. My one was frozen, but of course you can just use it as fresh as it is. Again, it will go into my food processor to be cut. I'm gonna add some chili, red chili. These can be omitted if you don't want spicy food. So I am going to add some olive oil to my slow cooker. I don't brown my meat before. I don't feel it is needed, and makes also this recipe a bit more frugal because of the cost of the electricity. You know, but that's not the reason why I make my lasagna in the slow cooker. However, if you'd like to watch the costs of it, you can definitely look at that. Now, I am going to use turkey mince. You can use any mince you've got. The reason I'm going to use these is because I received it free from Olio. Now I am going to add the cost of the meat to the recipe, because again, not everyone will get free meat. The meat I've got was one of those small packs of meat. I think it's 250 grams, but I will confirm when I add the price. I'm going to add my vegetables now. Let's just get the spatula. This is a very this is a recipe packed with vegetables, and that is really good. It's really nutritious. It's a great winter meal for these cold days. Just mixing. Before I add the seasoning, I'm going to add some oats. By adding some oats, I am making sure that this recipe has more fiber in it. Oats, when cooked with together with mince, you don't feel the taste. So if your children don't like that, they're actually not going to be able to see it or to taste the oats. So it is actually quite family friendly recipe. I'm going to add 100 grams of oats. Now what you don't want is to add the same quantity or more of the meat, because that way that's going to be a bit not great in terms of taste. If you add less, that's different. You won't taste the flavor. I hope that makes sense to you. But it's going to make these go further. So mix well before adding the seasoning. I'm gonna add some salt. Now seasoning will be as your preference. I'm gonna add pepper. I'm going to add some basil. I'm going to add some oregano. I'm going to add some mild chili powder. And I'm going to add some hot paprika. And I'm going to mix again, stir these to make sure the flavor goes everywhere. And now we're going to add our tin of tomatoes. You can use both chopped tomatoes or plum tomatoes. It's up to you what you want to use. I've got plum tomatoes at home, so that's what I'm going to use today. I believe it's the same price. Now, I like my lasagna, the meat sauce, quite saucy. I don't like it to be really dry. So for that reason, I'm going to add some water in here. I'm going to boil the water before I add it to the slow cooker, because that will help with the time. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add some boiling water to the tin tomato, so it takes all that tomato juice out of the can. And now I'm just going to pour, and that's enough liquid. Mix it again. The oats will absorb as well some of this water, but again, the water is really optional. You don't have to add it if you don't want. And now I am going to let it cook. You can cook it for 4 hours in high heat, or for 6 hours in a low heat. We're going to start to make the white sauce. I never buy jars, I always make my own from scratch, and that's how I'm going to make it today, and I'm going to tell you how I make it. And it's so easy and cheap to make. Everyone can make these. So I added 50 grams of butter in my pan. Now I usually don't measure the quantities for my white sauce, but I want to measure today because I want to give you the exact cost for this recipe. You're gonna allow the butter to melt. As you can see, the butter is melting quite well. I'm gonna add flour. I'm gonna start with 40 grams of flour. If I need to add more, I will tell you at the end with the costs. But I kind of, as I said to you, I don't usually do measures. I just feel what the sauce needs or doesn't need. It seems okay. It seems okay. I'm actually going to add 10 more grams. Yes, so we're going to have 50 grams of butter with 50 grams of flour. Yeah, that seems much better, because that's what you want to start with. Now we're going to add the milk. Again, I will tell you the quantity after, because I need to ensure it's the right quantity I'm going to tell you. You need to make sure you're going to add the milk slowly, so you can stir. Use a whisk, because that's going to be better for your sauce. I'm going to lower the heat just to ensure it doesn't burn. Now sometimes I make a mess when I'm making this sauce, but that is just the way I cook. It doesn't mean that you have to make a mess when you do it, but I sometimes when I'm whisking the sauce, I just make a big mess. Now I know this is not enough. I can now tell you. I usually make a bigger quantity. So I'm gonna add some more milk. This is why when you don't measure things, you don't really know how much you use, isn't it? But that's okay, because now I will know. You can see the sauce is coming quite creamy, and I still have a lump there. It's gonna go out, don't worry. Just keep whisking. Now what I'm gonna do in the meantime, I'm gonna season the sauce. I'm gonna add some salt. I'm gonna add some pepper. And I'm going to add some nutmeg. I love nutmeg in a white sauce. Now the white sauce, if you want, you can use plain flour, you can use wholemeal flour, you can even use oats to make the white sauce, or any other kind of flour you prefer. It does not need to be just plain flour. I've done it successfully with different flours, such as oat flour and wholemeal. Add some more milk. Don't worry, I'm measuring this time. Okay, this is enough. I'm just going to let it bubble before I turn it off. I've got 200 grams of cheese and I'm gonna grate this for the lasagna. So it's now time to assemble my lasagna. Sorry about the noise. I was so I've got my sauce and I've got my meat, and I need another spoon. I need to go and get another spoon. I'm going to show you the meat. Look at this, bubbling away. It's really nice, and there's a lot. So this is going to be an amazing frugal meal. Look at this. It's a very generous portion of meat on that bottom. Now I'm going to add just a splash of this white sauce. I don't want to overwhelm with the white sauce, and I'm going to add my lasagna sheets. I like to, put them like this. You could separate more, but to be fair, I prefer to have them a bit more together. And we continue adding more meat. I'm not sure how many how many lasagne sheets come in the packs. But I would say I will use what? Not even half of the pack. No, I wouldn't say so. So probably a pack will be enough for 3 lasagnes, I would say, for me. I think that's what I usually do with it. However, I will have to count how many sheets are there and how many I use. However, I know I use less than half a pack, but I'm going to add the cost for half a pack of the sheets. I think that is the best. Yeah. Let's just say I used half a pack, but I know I didn't. I never do. Now, I like to have a very generous layer of white sauce to cover my lasagna at the top. As you can see, it's a very generous one. And then I'm going to add the cheese. Now, I know some people like to add the cheese in the white sauce, and that's absolutely fine. You can. There's nothing wrong. So I ran out of battery. So yeah, I'm going to add the rest of my white sauce on top. It's a very generous layer of white sauce. And now I'm going to add my cheese. So I've got 200 grams of cheddar cheese. Again, it's a very generous layer of cheese on top. You could, if you would like, add some to the white sauce, so you don't have as much cheese on the top, but it is inside the lasagna. It's up to you, really. There's so many different ways to make the same recipe, isn't it? Look at this. Isn't it a very nice and generous portion of lasagna? Now, this is going to, I'm going to put in the oven, but I can easily cut this in 6 generous portions for me and my son. So these will be really frugal. What a beautiful lasagna. It's crispy, look at this, nice, cheesy, and so lovely and frugal to make. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you very soon for another recipe video or another vlog or shopping haul, because that's all you can find in my channel. Thank you so much for helping my channel to grow, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye bye.